Alright, let's be real. We've all seen so-called entry-level cloud jobs that ask for 2 to 3 years of experience. If that's the case, why are they being labeled as entry-level? By the way, a big thank you to HubSpot for sponsoring this video. Today, I'll be revealing the biggest traps that job seekers fall into when trying to get hired. Because honestly, with the rise of AI, junior cloud roles are fading out. In fact, this time last year, Amazon's CEO sent out a note to the whole company, and inside he said this: "We will need fewer people doing some of the jobs that are being done today, and we expect that this will reduce our total corporate workforce as we get efficiency gains from AI. If you think he's just exaggerating, no, Amazon did deliver on that promise. Last year, the company laid off over 30,000 employees, and I'll give you a quick second to read this headline properly. Now, here's something even more shocking. If we zoom out of Amazon and look at the entire tech industry as a whole, junior tech hiring is down 73%. Overall tech hiring, only down 7%. What this means is that most of the job postings that are being taken down are for people who are looking to land their first tech job. So if it's been feeling harder than ever to break into tech, you're not imagining it. I've spent 2 years inside of AWS as a solutions architect and have helped hundreds of people break into the cloud. Speaking from personal experience, the strategies and roadmaps that worked just a few years ago can no longer be followed. And so this is what I'll be covering in today's video. First, I'll explain to you why entry-level cloud jobs were never actually entry-level and what companies were really hiring juniors for. Because once you understand this, everything about the current job market will start to make sense. Next, we'll take a look at which cloud roles AI is actually wiping out and which ones it can't really touch. Once you see the pattern, you'll know exactly what roles to aim for. And thirdly, I'll share with you the new playbook and 3 moves I'd make if I was starting from zero today. Alright, let's get into it. We're going to start off with why entry-level cloud jobs are a myth. Let's look at a few job listings. First, a junior cloud engineer. Minimum 3 years of experience in cloud engineering, DevOps or related fields, with a focus on AWS technologies. Hands-on experience with DevOps practices, including CI/CD pipelines, containerization, and automation. The list goes on. I mean, come on, 3 years needed for a junior role. Next, let's take a look at this Associate Solutions Architect role. Bachelor's degree or 2 to 5 years of experience in solution design, sales engineering, technical project management, or a related field. So here, the associate could have had half a decade of experience. Now, thankfully for this third one, I did manage to find an actual entry-level listing. This associate infrastructure engineer one, where the requirements all seem attainable. So 0 to 2 years of experience including coursework and some foundational cloud and IT knowledge. That was one entry-level listing out of the dozens that I scrolled through. And here's why. Most companies almost never hire juniors to do junior work. That role never existed. What they hired juniors for was the manual work. Things like ticket triage, basic IAM requests, patching, and digging through logs at 2 AM. That was the whole arrangement. But I'll be honest, I was one of the lucky ones. When I joined AWS, I got proper structured training, onboarding, mentorship, and a program actually designed to help solutions architects grow. But this is because AWS is a $1 trillion company that could invest in hiring junior talent. At most companies, a lot of entry-level cloud roles meant very little training. It's more like, here's a ticket queue, figure it out, and hopefully you'll learn something along the way. So for many years, the industry ran on 2 versions of entry-level, a small number of proper programs at big tech companies with brutal acceptance rates, and everywhere else where there was a lot of manual work and very little training. Honestly, the system wasn't perfect, but it worked. That was until 2 to 3 years ago when AI came into the picture. Which brings us to the question, what is AI actually replacing? Because here's what many people get wrong about AI. It's not replacing cloud jobs. It's replacing specific workflows and tasks. Goldman Sachs ran the numbers on this. Every month, AI wipes out 25,000 jobs in the US, and at the same time, it creates 9,000 new ones. But the really interesting part is which jobs actually get destroyed. In their words, the losses fall hardest on routine and codifiable work. Now, when it comes to the cloud, this means anything that can follow a standard procedure. But you might be wondering, if AI is wiping out so many jobs, what roles could they possibly be creating? Well, with junior listings on the collapse, job listings for agentic AI roles are up 10,000% in a single year. AI engineer is the fastest growing job title in America 2 years in a row. In fact, there's 2 high-paying roles that are quietly popping up right now: agent trainer and agent manager. So if you'd like to take advantage of this opportunity, HubSpot has put together a completely free guide on how to land those jobs. It's called the 100K AI jobs no one's talking about. Inside, you'll see why companies like Meta, Netflix, and Amazon are hiring for those roles right now, and how to best position yourself before everyone else catches on. In HubSpot's guide, you'll also get resources for resume optimization, interview prep, and salary negotiation. And no, you don't need a computer science degree. My favorite part is the 4-layer thinking approach from HubSpot's own AI team. It's a simple framework for combining your existing domain expertise with AI fluency. And so if you'd like to check it out, I've left a link to the free guide in the description below. Thanks again HubSpot for partnering with me on this video. Alright, let's now talk about the new playbook you can follow to land a cloud role. Because I know everything I just shared with you sounds pretty discouraging. But remember what Goldman's data actually said. Whilst AI destroys 25,000 jobs a month, it also creates 9,000 new ones. So opportunities are still there. You just need to know where to look for them. And most job seekers are still playing by the old rules, which is good news for you. Because if you want to play by the new ones, you're competing against way fewer candidates. So here are 3 moves I'd make if I was starting from scratch today. Move number 1 is to stop collecting certifications and start collecting proof. Now, this is a little awkward for me to say as someone with 5 AWS certifications, but hear me out here. A cloud certification proves that you can pass an exam. It used to mean something because passing that exam will usually take hours and hours of studying. Nowadays, AI can pass that same exam in a matter of seconds. This has decreased the value of certifications. What AI can't do is own an outcome. What I mean by this is show end-to-end results. Instead of grinding through certifications, build 1 or 2 projects and take it all the way. Actually go from the initial idea to the deployed solution, and then write about what went wrong, what you learned, and how the project went. Because here's what happens in an interview. The candidate with 5 certifications gets asked a question and they might stumble. But if you ask the candidate with real hands-on experience, they'll be able to answer in a lot more detail. They can reference their own projects, the architectures they came up with, as well as the errors they ran into. And that's the conversation that gets you hired. So remember this, hands-on projects over certifications and memorizing. Alright, move number 2 is to make AI your coworker, rather than waiting passively for AI to replace you. This one sounds kind of obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people are just waiting for AI tools to get better. Instead, what I recommend doing is to stay updated with the latest AI trends and actually use it in your workflow. And no, I don't just mean using ChatGPT here and there. Actually try to automate parts of your personal and professional life. This could be something like experimenting with OpenClaw, or maybe coming up with an architecture diagram with AI. In fact, the only way to figure out which parts of AI won't be replaceable is to try to replace yourself with AI and see where you run into roadblocks. The parts that AI won't replace will become more and more valuable over time. Last but not least, move number 3 is to go deep on 1 or 2 skills and not shallow on 5. Now, this goes against everything you might see online, because every roadmap video is saying the same thing. Learn networking, learn Python, learn Terraform, learn Kubernetes, learn everything you can. If you end up following all of these roadmaps, you'll end up with a shallow knowledge of everything and you won't be able to go deep enough. So the formula is simple. Pick 1 or 2 things in the cloud you already know and become AI fluent in them. For example, if you have knowledge in cloud support, be the person who can run support agents. If you're coming from a data background, become the person who can build pipelines that feed AI systems. Pretty much my advice is to go deep in your existing knowledge and then stack AI on top of that. Okay, this brings us to the end of this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.